Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. So I got a lot of good feedback on my small cap alt video, and a lot of people send me DMs, ask me questions about projects and things like that. And it gave me the idea that I was going to do a larger cap alt video, the larger cap alt projects that I like and that I had been putting money into. And while making that video, somebody said I should make a not top 10, and we're going to call it a flop 10. And when I started looking into it, it was a little bit quicker to make that video first because there's not much to say about some of these projects. Now, I understand how emotional crypto is, and there's going to be people that love these projects, some of them, and invested in them for a long time. And some of the names that I say, people might be like, what? No, not that one. Well, this is just my honest assessment. I'm really not trying to FUD any particular project. The same analysis when I did that OMI video recently. I'm not trying to FUD OMI, just my honest analysis on how I assess crypto projects. And if you look at the small cap alt video, I think out of those 20 small cap alts I put out, I believe 12 of them have went up for a 100% move since that video came out. So for somebody who's been in the crypto space for a while, there is a method to my madness of how I'm looking at some of these projects. And not financial advice. At the end of the day, it's just for fun. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't say that all these projects are going to fall and to nothing. I think all 10 of them will actually go up with the market if the market goes up. But just like the point with the OMI video, I think that your money can be make it better in other projects. And if you love one of these, then maybe think about diversifying in some of the points that I'm bringing up. So here we go with the flop 10. All right, we're gonna kick this flop 10 countdown off with a dinosaur that I'm sure everybody's familiar with. Coming in with an extremely overbloated $5.3 billion market cap, we got Litecoin. Old project. Look at the history, goes back super far. Look at it on chart. This is the monthly because it goes back so far. Well, what it looks like. So here's some things to point out. It did make an all-time high last market cycle. It did eclipse the all-time high. And what's it's done this cycle? Well, nothing exciting. It hasn't shown any strength or anything to mention of. But I know a lot of holders when they're in the project, but if it just gets back to the all-time high, so fair point. If it did do that, then you have a 400% gain, and that's not nothing. Do I think it'll get back to the all-time high? Well, nobody's a fortune teller, but I don't think that it's a foregone conclusion. This is a valuation against BTC, and it's just been just kind of down, and it didn't really get a bounce this time. I don't know. I don't like this chart, the way its valuation is against BTC. In comparison to its market cap size, if you look at actual companies that have that kind of market cap, you're looking at some household names in here: ADT, Dillard's, Polaris, I think, is one of the companies in here I saw. But Litecoin, I mean, it does have somewhat of a use case with, it's not bad for sending crypto, but you can use almost any crypto to send crypto, and it's not even that fast, really, compared to some other options that are out there. The positive I could say for Litecoin, it seems like when it's bull market time and some bigger companies start talking about adoption and maybe accepting some cryptocurrencies, I feel like they tend to go with these, like Litecoin, maybe a name that gets thrown around and they get some pumps from some stuff like that. But ultimately, nothing normally materializes from those things. But those are some of my thoughts on Litecoin. Top 10, we have EOS. Now, it's not as bad at less than $1 billion market cap as some of these other ones. I mean, I hate the all-time chart it shows here on Coin Market Cap. I was making these big all-time highs in a off cycle, and then in the bull cycle, it didn't really do too much. And they called this the ETH killer. Only thing I ever saw it kill was the holders' wallets. I mean, I don't know anything that's developing or building on it or anything. So here, still on the monthly, this is the all-time chart. Looks a little different than CoinMarketCap. It shows it made an all-time high in the bull market, but then that was the first Bitcoin all-time high. The second one would have been like here. It looks like it didn't do anything. You look at its evaluation against Bitcoin, that's just terrible. And EOS is a good example of why it doesn't take too long to make this video, because some of these projects, there's just nothing to say about them. So coming in next, we got EOS's little brother Tezos with a very similar market cap. I feel like these projects are kind of the same, where there's a lot of hype and nothing ever really happens, and they're great examples of why it doesn't take too long to make this video, because there's nothing to talk about, there's nothing going on, there's no development. This is the all-time chart, had a run up there, then the two highs coincide with the Bitcoin all-time high, so at least it moved with the market. And then look, this has had absolutely no strength at all in the bear market, and made new lows. If we look at its valuation of BTC, that is terrible, and that is why it is here. So continuing the flop 10, we got Ethereum Classic coming in with a bloated $2.6 billion market cap of bag holders. Failed fork of Ethereum, old project, a dinosaur. It was Ethereum, and there was some security issues, and it forked off into Ethereum Classic, and never really did much. I mean, but it's telling you it's supposed to be like a blockchain with dApps and ecosystems. Who has ever heard of anything building on Ethereum Classic? Maybe there is. I don't know. I'm in the space and I don't see it much. Now, some things I give Ethereum Classic on chart is not as bad as some others that I have seen. This is a monthly once again. If it were, like I said, this is how everybody looks at it. If it would have made an all-time high, let's see what that gain would be if it made an all-time high from here. So if it goes up to that wick, that is a big gain, 800%. More likely it would come here to this body, 200 to 300%. I mean, you know, like a lot of these things that I'm talking about, I think that they'll still go with the market, but that you'll get bigger gains in different projects. It's good that it came down and it didn't break below this level. If it would have came down here and went away, then I would have been even more down on it, and its evaluation against Bitcoin isn't horrible, which is why I said on chart the Ethereum Classic isn't the worst thing, but at a 28 ranked 28th on coin market cap, with all these projects out there that are hungry, this is a prime candidate to get booted down the line and out the top 100. Some of these projects I've been doing so far, they're a little bit older projects, not as really rabid communities. Here's where I'm going to start getting the hate mail. So we got Shib coming in at $5.8 billion market cap, 590 trillion tokens in circulating supply. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. The Shib on chart looks terrible, big FOMO bullshit run up here, and it's just been a sell-off ever since. This was a month, so Shib's was successful for a month. If you really look at it, that's if you look at his evaluation to BTC, that is horrendous. It's so bad. And I had somebody that I knew, they were like, you know, it's the same mindset. Anybody who watched my Omi video, it's similar to that, how people think if you just hold a project for a long time that it'll print huge gains, and this is crypto. It doesn't always work like that way. So what they told me was, what if Shib just goes up to a penny, I will have so much money or whatever. All right, so circulating supply 590 trillion. Hey Siri,
Good morning, Ron. How can I help?
what is 590 trillion divided by 100?
5.9 times 10 to the 14th power divided by 100 is 5.9 times 10 to the 12th power.
Okay, that's a big number there. So if you look, the first three, and it may be cut off on the screen, but that's, you see all the digits. So that's the hundreds place, the thousands, then the millions place, 900 billion. So you need a $5.9 trillion market cap for if Shib to hit a penny. So you would need that twice of Apple for Shib to hit a penny. So that is not going to happen ever. I don't care how much adoption you get with crypto. And you got Floki coming, you got Pepe coming down the pipe with they're hungry, they're rabid. I mean, so the same things that Shib can build up, those communities are going to do the same thing or build the same thing with much lower market caps. Like I said, you might get gains as the market goes up, but I think there's easier ways to get there than with Shiba Inu. We got another project that would get me hate mail. It's called Gala, and I've talked about Gala in some Omi videos that I've done a lot. I don't like Gala, although I think that Omi is even better than Gala. But anyway, I came prepared because I know that a lot of people like this project and they feel a certain way about it and stuff like that. So if we look at it on chart, it looks like the same chart as Shib we just looked at. It literally almost the same chart as Shib. This big month spike up and then just a complete sell off, and then you had the same time beginning of this year had that, and then the sell off broke this low and closed. I said when it broke this level here, like this could really not be good for Gala. The valuation from BTC, just like Shib, it's horrendous. It's terrible. And Gala, I think it's all hype. This is so you go to Gala's website, the games that came, Champions Arena and Spider Tanks, the two games that I came up when I see the website. First two that I see. All right, I just picked two random ones. Spider Tanks on Twitter has 14.6 thousand followers. Okay, that's not too bad. Not very good either. Champions Arena's got 3,200. You compare this to Elemental Raiders by Games for a Living. It has like 250,000 followers. Nakamoto Games stuff is the same way. In comparison, you talk about the market cap of this project, and in comparison to these smaller cap gaming projects and the followers and who seems to be playing these games, I don't know. I don't know. So Decided by Gala was, I have some screenshots where I was talking about it April 2021. And it ran up good and I thought it was all good and everything like that. But after that, all that happened, I started to stand and I thought Gala was okay. And I kind of stood back and looked and I started to see that all that bull market stuff, it was all hype. They paid some notable influencers like Snoop Dogg and Wendy O to promote them and had some flashy events. And never really, who's playing the games? You saw what I just saw. Then they got this going on. Gala founders biff over $130 million theft, corporate waste allegations. I think they're trying to part ways and so that's a real good look. And this is current, September 4th. Then they had this debacle where, and I think this was actually maybe more of Coinbase's fault, but whatever the case is, some of these things in crypto, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. It happened that all these U.S. users that had Gala, or I guess anybody with Coinbase, but Coinbase is very popular in the U.S., when they did this token contract upgrade or whatever, they all lost their Gala. And I'm going to talk about Omi again for a second. When Omi did the chain swap, to this day, if you had Omi on GoChain, you can swap it out. So Gala should have had some way to look after these people or work with Coinbase or something. And I'm not going to read all the details because I don't really care, because this is crypto in this industry. It doesn't have to be your fault. It can still be what it is. So $500 million, not the worst market cap. It's the gaming sector. Like some of these things I'm talking about, I think it'll come back with the market some, but that your money's better off in other projects. And I know a lot of people kind of like Gala and they consider it a top shelf gaming project, but when I see it, that is not what I see. Tokenomics are bad too. I think they tried to do something with that. They're going to burn some, but look, half in circulating supply. And like I said, I think they did do something with the burn, but the tokenomics are bad. The fundamentals don't seem good to me. Management issues. Gala just is a no for me. So marching along here on the flop 10, we have Mana, another project that'll get me hateful messages. The market cap is less than $1 billion. It's similar area of Gala, but this I feel like there's a lot of people bag holding in this project. If we look at the chart of Mana, it's a little similar to the Shib and Gala chart, not too far off on a monthly. No strength in the bear market, same thing, had this pump in January and then nothing to speak of since. Its valuation to BTC is horrendous as well, and has been this entire bear market. And Decentraland, what I guess my thing with it is who's actually using it. And this talks about the state of Decentraland, where it says 8,000 daily active users. And this is a new article. This is a newer article. 8,000 daily active users. So let's just start there. And this is in a positive light. 8,000, that's a positive number. All right. And I don't know the exact statistics of VV, but I would bet that there's more than 5,000 at least daily active users in VV, and their market cap is Omi anyway is a third of this. But I've heard such things that people saying that nobody uses it. So this is does it really only have 30 active daily users? And then there's other articles about this in the final word, and this says I think there's 810 is the active population of Decentraland on an average day. I, I don't know exactly. I think it's fair to say with those points, you could argue those specific numbers, but even if it was 8,000, I think that would be underwhelming, in my opinion. And you compare it to newer projects that come out, the newer things gonna have the bigger gains. I feel that the Decentraland, Gala, Omi, some of these tokens, people just have a perception that if I hold them, eventually I'll make a lot of money because that's how things work, and that's not always how crypto works. I think Decentraland will go up with the market like some of these other things I talk about. Same kind of thing. Next is another project that I think will get me some hate is Uniswap at almost $3 billion market cap, ranked 27th on Coin Market Cap. And I think there's a lot of people bag holding Uni. From a fundamental standpoint, and the reason I bring up the fundamentals because I think that lots of people take shots at crypto projects because they say the coin has no utility. Well, for this to be so big, its only utility is governance, I believe, unless they've changed something. I mean, if you think, the DEX projects, you can't even use their coin to buy on their DEX. And it's not that I'm anti-Uniswap. I use Uniswap all the time. I love Uniswap. Uniswap's not going anywhere. But when you look at, I do a lot of research on new projects and things like that, and you see all this cross-chain DEX aggregator liquidity from the TVL, all these kinds of things, and Uniswap is just kind of, what it is, which is fine, and I like it. But when you talk about things that are going to make gains, which is what this video is about, then I don't like Uniswap as much. As far as on chart, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. If it got backed up to all-time highs, you'd have 800% gain. That's pretty good. It got caught support here, so at least it didn't break that during the bear market and keep going down. Its valuation against BTC is very similar. Uniswap isn't the worst on this list, I don't think. And I also, this isn't anything technical I'm about to say, but when things start popping off and people are making a lot of money and taxes get brought up and stuff like that, the government is going to start talking about crypto taxes and such things like that. And DEXs are going to be a target, and Uniswap is the biggest one. I could see FUD coming their way in the next bull market because they're going to target the biggest one, most notable one, which will be Uniswap. And I don't know that for sure, but I am going to go on a limb and say that. But even regardless, I still think Uniswap's got an overbloated market cap. Next on the small cap flop list, we got Ton Coin coming in next, and this not that I don't like this project. For anyone who's not familiar with what it is, it's not as popular as some of these other projects that I've mentioned. It's a layer 1 developed in 2018, and it has to do with Telegram and everything. And I love Telegram, and I hate to put this up here, but the fact is, I just don't see this as being ranked number 11 on Coin Market Cap. I don't think that that it should be that high. It's not that I don't necessarily like it and think that it's crap. It's just like with lots of other things, I think that your money's better off somewhere else. On a monthly technical analysis, I mean, it's not the worst. It's not like some of these we've seen. Same thing with the evaluation to BTC. With this, it's as simple as things are going to come up, and things are going to get pushed down the list, and I think that this is at number 11. I think it's just a prime candidate to get pushed down the list. I think it'll do okay, and I don't dislike the project or think negative things of it. It's just that I think somebody's got to be a winner, somebody's got to be a loser. And the last one coming in on the flop 10 is Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision with almost $1 billion market cap. For people who aren't familiar with what Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision is, several years ago, I think it was like 2017, Bitcoin forked, 2018, and it forked into Bitcoin, what you know as Bitcoin today, BCH, and Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision. And there's actually a large amount, maybe not a large amount, but there's a contingency of people in crypto that consider BCH the real Bitcoin. And this has to do with that a lot of people that have been in Bitcoin from the start, and the way that the white paper was written, that they believe Bitcoin is not a store value. It is a peer-to-peer currency exchange or whatever. And as the network got bigger and the transactions became more expensive, it's like Bitcoin isn't practical for that. But BCH, they made the block size bigger, so it still is. And I'll talk about BCH in future videos. So, and Satoshi's vision is like BCH and kind of on that, like that kind of, thought path or whatever. But, it's ranked 50 on CoinMarketCap, higher than you would think. And BCH is way up higher. If anyone was going to take Bitcoin for that purpose, the peer-to-peer, they're going to go with BCH over Satoshi's vision. It's a failed fork, and with almost $1 billion market cap, it's a lot of people that believed in Bitcoin and that vision of it. And in my opinion, that is just a failed fork. And this is the price of it on the monthly's had some success recently, but just sell off ever since the first Bitcoin all-time high. I mean, the second one, it didn't even do anything there. Not much. This was that. I mean, inside bar. Didn't even make a new high from the previous month. And the valuation against Bitcoin is obviously terrible. So that is, if I was going to rank this might be number one out of all of them. So anyway, that's the flop 10. And if the flop 10 did not make enough people upset, I'll throw myself to the fire anymore with an honorable mention on the flop 10. And I'm not going to go into much details about these, but just that these projects need to put up or shut up. Phantom is one. Tron is, just the market cap is so big. I feel like the network had its best days last market cycle, but we'll see. I don't hate it, but I certainly don't love it either. Near, I mean, maybe I'm wrong on this one. It just seems to me with adoption that it does not have the adoption like other projects of its size. Ranked 36 on CoinMarketCap, and I've used it a couple times. I really didn't like it too much, but I could be wrong about this one. Algorand, another one maybe I'm wrong on, $1 billion market cap. A lot of people talk about the tech on this is good, but the thing with Algorand, you can't add it to MetaMask, you can't add it to Trust Wallet. I don't know. I mean, I think they're trying to be a little too fancy and go against the greater grain. And I don't know. There's one I could be wrong about, but all things considered, I don't really like it. So OKB, the exchange token for OKX, and I just think that this is too high for an exchange token that's not BNB. 27th on CoinMarketCap, $3 billion market cap. It's not that I don't like OKX or that I think that this is not. I just think that this is a lot for an exchange token, especially at this point in the market cycle. I think that if it's anything like last market cycle, there will be a point where exchange tokens start to blow up, but it's not something that I personally would want to hodl and hope for big, 10x potential gains.